Securities. We are an education and information firm on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. We provide some feedback about the market and give you some recommendations about what is hot and what is not, what you should hold and what you should fold. And if you like this presentation, why don't you actually share it with people that you know, review it and give us some feedback if you wish. Overnight and from around the globe, we start with the Dow. We can see here the Dow was up 177 points, 0.7% higher, and you can see the last couple of days you more or less slightly up over 3 days. The S&P 500 up 0.8%, and the Nasdaq was up 1.4%. However, when you compare the last 3 days, we are still on the positive end compared to 4 days ago. And the S&P 500, that's 50 points. Certainly also they seem to be all positive across 3 days. In Europe, the StoxX 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, down 35 points, almost steady combining the 3 days together. The FTSE 100 index, again probably sideways. The DAX, almost the same situation as well. In Japan, the Nikkei index was down 0.8% yesterday. The Shanghai index was up 1.6%. Remember, the Shanghai index had a beautiful day 3 days ago where it shot up by nearly 6%. So we are very positive on the Shanghai index. On our market, we were down 92 points. There is actually 3 days of declines, so we might see today that the market may go up more than 50 points according to the futures, or at least the starting point would be 50 points higher. Gold 1,820, that's up $13 from yesterday morning, and you see that price $10.70 compared this morning price to last night. However, I compare morning to morning, apples for apples, you can see 13 points higher. Silver, again, about 50 cents up, approximately. And copper had a beautiful day, reaching a very high point, almost the highest in January. Brent crude oil, 0.7% higher, and crude oil was up 0.7%. So it's up, you compare the 3 days together, you can see that the market over 3 days for the crude was up nearly 30 cents, 34 cents, and 27 cents for the Brent. So it's really moving sideways. Soybeans, for those who follow the Chinese American spat, well, it was down 0.6% to 897 after reaching 906 US per bushel about 3 days ago. The Australian dollar 69.8, 61.6 euro cents, 55.34 British pence, and 107 New Zealand. And iron ore had a slight increase overnight and reaching an all-time high, almost all-time high, or at least all-year high. And also Bitcoin was up 170 US this morning, getting to 13,400 Australian dollars. Looking at the charts, again the weekly showing positive parabolic stop and reverse, those dots below the candles, and the stochastic slightly on the neutral to bearish side, and the 9-week and the 21-week moving averages almost touching neutral, and as I mentioned yesterday, that 21-week moving average may appear to be a support. Let's see what happens the next couple of days, but anyway, you see here compared to 3 days, if that is the red candle where it closed about 3 days ago, 3-4 days trading days, we are still on the high side. We had 2 good days and 1 negative days, but compare the closing here to the closing here, we find that we are on the high side. Stochastic bullish, parabolic stop and reverse bullish, and the 21-day above the 9-day moving average above the 21-day moving average, that's positive. Yeah, so you've got conflicting direction from the weekly and the daily. So for the long term, we are probably neutral, and we're going to see that in a minute on a different slide. The Australian market, I mentioned several days ago that I expect the market to hover between the 50% appreciation or reflection, retracement from the high and the low that we've seen in previous months. We're hovering between the 50% retracement and the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. We're going to stay in that area for quite a while, I think. That's the weekly. The indicators, stochastic bearish, parabolic stop and reverse bullish, the 9-week below the 21 bearish. On the other hand, on the daily, we've got bullish parabolic stop and reverse, bearish stochastic. And then when we look at all these indicators, we can actually compare what we've got here from the indicators translated. We've got here the last, that's this morning, that's yesterday morning, and 2 mornings ago. The Dow, you can say more or less we are bullish on the American market, with greater emphasis on the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. Gold, very strongly bullish. We've been bullish for a number of days. The same thing for silver. And crude oil, again bullish for the conservative trader, aggressive trader, and very aggressive trader. If you want to find out more about the various type of risk appetite, please talk to us. But the investor is a long-term trade from 1 month to another, maybe over several months, while the aggressive trader may trade between days or weeks, and the very aggressive trader perhaps between hours. Gold again, so here we got again the Australian dollar bullish, the euro, if you want to trade the euro versus the US, very bullish, and the British pound for the very aggressive bullish. Okay, now looking at our market, these are the price movement yesterday, these are the price movements the day before, and these were our recommendations this morning, yesterday morning, and 2 mornings ago. And we've got here the XJO slightly neutral for the conservative trader. We are going backward here. ANZ, we were bullish 3 days ago, we turned into bullish just for the very aggressive, and then neutral this morning. So we get out of the banks. The market is going to go up higher today, and maybe we can take some money out and run with the ANZ and wait until it drops and buy some more. BHP bullish. BHP yesterday was down 1%, but then it was 1.3% higher 2 days ago. CBA, we are bullish, however we see slight declines over 2 days. CIMIC bearish. We had -1% and minus nearly 3%. That's yesterday morning, and that's this morning. So we continue to be bearish on CIMIC, the old Leighton Holdings. Newcrest Mines, we've been bullish for a long time. We've been spot on with the gold price and the gold shares. Telstra, again, we've been bullish for quite some time, and we are rising. Wesfarmers, we were up nearly 1%, but then down 2% yesterday, driven by the whole market. Remember, the whole market was down 1.5%, and was down the day before. Okay, we go to volume. We like to see volume to compare what happens when you got declines versus advances. Advances on the top line and declines here. You can see you got 3 days of declines and 5 days of advances. And yesterday we had 36% of all the stocks declining versus 23.5% advancing, and the rest unchanged. And the volume was down from 4.2 down to 3.9 billion transactions. Okay, companies that turn to be very active and with good rise. Split It. We don't know a great deal about Split It, but Northern Star, we trade in gold. Zip, we have a trade on Zip, was up 5%. Coles Group, Saracen, Evolution Mining, gold company, and Telstra had 2 days. You see here Telstra. I've seen Telstra before. Where are you, Telstra? Here we are. Telstra was up 0.3%, going from $3.36 to $3.44, and yesterday Telstra was up to $3.47. Slight increase, but anyway, on the positive side. Newcrest Mines, we didn't see. Newcrest Mine was up 3% 2 days ago, and yesterday Newcrest Mines was up just below 0.1%. All these companies were active but negative. Okay, now in terms of announcement today, going all the way down, US jobs opening, that's on Wednesday night, was positive. Today, what we expect, crude oil inventories, that should be early this morning, so I believe the inventories were much higher, so they've got plenty of oil in the ground. Nothing in the Australian market. New Zealand GDT price index, okay, don't worry about that. Results or figures yesterday. Economic optimism slightly below what was expected. People are a bit negative in America because of the coronavirus. Okay, other news, RBA statement, well, that's Tuesday and Wednesday, nothing really. Okay, now in terms of volume, we scanned the market to see which stock had extra volume above its moving average volume. We look at 50 days of trading. We compare the volume across 50 days and we work out the average, moving average, and we compare the moving average with the volume yesterday. Telstra had a beautiful volume yesterday, 42 million transactions versus an average of 30.5, and the price goes up 2 days in a row. Is Telstra a good buy? Well, we need to do further analysis. Coles Group, the volume was steady, nothing really exciting, but the price was up 2.4. On the bearish side for the top 50, Lend-Lease 3.6%, the volume was up 30%. Aristocrat 3.6% down. Maybe we look at those two companies and produce some papers on it, and obviously the papers will be on the website. For the mid cap, for those who are a lot more aggressive, Bubs Australia, not familiar with this company, but we can do further analysis. On the downside, Monadelphous, it's interesting, construction company, Lend-Lease, Orica, Mirvac Properties, down. All right, again, finally, look at our trades on CFDs. Yesterday morning we had, before the market opened, our account was $3,000. It's slightly lower this morning, but I expect that the market will shoot up today because of ANZ Bank. We've increased from 300 to 700 CFD for ANZ, and our average price is $18.70. It was $19.01 yesterday. We reduced the average price. and Zip improved. Paladin improved slightly. So let's see what happens in the trade today. Okay, disclaimer. This is the disclaimer. Everything we said is for general advice only. Before you take any action, please consult with us or with your professional advisor. We don't know your financial circumstances, and you don't know yourself what sort of risk appetite you've got if you are an investor or a trader. So there are different strategies that we produce for you. We run education courses to teach you how to trade the market, how to pick signals, and if you want to learn, all you have to do is talk to us. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always talk to us. You can write to me at George@FS Securities. FS stands for full service. George@fssecurities.com.au. If you're ringing from overseas, 61 is the country code. You don't need the 0. 61-411-259526. I am available on my iPhone nearly 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. When I'm not playing bridge, I'm not playing tennis, I'm not at the movies, I'm not watching movies. All right, if you're ringing locally on my mobile, 0411-259526. Happy trading, and I hope you make some money.